Welcome to Faithful Doubt. Today, we're going to talk about Halloween.
Hey guys, before we get into today's episode, I just want to ask you to go ahead and like, follow, and subscribe on all of our platforms. Our social handles are Faithful Doubt on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. On Instagram, it's a little different. It's faithful_ and then doubt. And if you would like to have your question or topic discussed in an episode, go ahead and send us an email at faithfuldoubtcg@gmail.com. Love to hear your guys' input and what you have to say. So thanks for doing that, and go ahead and like, follow, and subscribe on our socials. So today we're going to be talking about Halloween, and this is a popular topic amongst Christians this time of year. Should we celebrate Halloween? Should we participate in Halloween? And then there's the age-old debate over, is it a pagan holiday or does it have roots in Christianity? Maybe you've never heard that. Some people think it has roots in Christianity. Maybe you've never heard that it's a pagan holiday. I don't know how you've never heard that, but it is a very popular topic. And so I've done some research. I am by no means an expert on Halloween and the traditions and where it came from. I know there's many countries that celebrate a variation of Halloween. So don't take what I'm saying today for necessarily the 100% total truth. I could be wrong on some of these things, but I've done some research, and I'm going to give you my thoughts from a Christian perspective on Halloween. So we're going to dive right into this. So the pagan root of Halloween, where it came from, what I found is it was a Celtic religion or a religious practice called Samhain. Hope I'm saying that right. I looked it up on Google beforehand. Could be wrong on that too. But it was a religious practice where they believed that the barrier between worlds, the spirit world, the physical world, was breached or breachable for, I think, 3 days. And so in that time, they prepared offerings and left it outside their village or in the fields for like fairies and other monsters. And it was often expected that ancestors or family members that had died would pass over into the physical world. And so the Celts would dress up as animals or monsters so that the monsters were not tempted to kidnap them. Makes sense, right? So it is a pagan religious festival originating from an ancient Celtic spiritual tradition. So it's usually celebrated on October 31st to November 1st. This is why I'm assuming we celebrate on October 31st. And it ushered in the dark half of the year. And the explanation behind that was the sun is not going to be up as long during the day. Now, okay, that's the pagan side of things, the non-Christian side of things. There's probably more history behind it than what I just said. So if there is, love to hear your thoughts on that. If you're an expert on Halloween, please let me know where I'm wrong or what other input you might have. Now, on the Christian side of things, there's actually Christian roots in Halloween. It goes all the way back to the Middle Ages, and it was called Hallowtide, or the Eve of All Saints' Day. Maybe you've heard that before. And so, for example, the roots of trick-or-treating can be found in the Christian side of the tradition, where the poor would go to the homes of wealthy people on the Eve of All Saints' Day and offer prayers in exchange for food. For some reason, the place I went and researched, it specifically said food and beer. So beer must have been just like the best thing ever to get. I mean, it tastes good. So it is what it is. But it is got some Christian tradition in it. As I said, it was the Eve of All Hallows. And so one of the quotes that came across was, it was one of the most solemn festivals of the church. Again, could be wrong on this. Please tell me if I am. I'm begging someone to just tell me I'm wrong. And, you can be angry about it. I hope you're nice about it if I am wrong. But please tell me. Now, let's get down to it. Should we reject other holidays like Halloween because of the pagan tradition or roots in them? Another way to ask this: if a holiday celebrates or has some kind of sinful aspect to it, should we participate, celebrate in any part of it? I have an interesting counterpoint to the people that would say we shouldn't. I think if you're gonna say Halloween is not, if you're gonna say I'm a Christian, and no Christian should celebrate Halloween, you better be consistent on that stance with all holidays, is what I would say. So let's take Thanksgiving, for example. Thanksgiving is not a religious holiday. In fact, our culture is kind of moving towards it's a horrible holiday as far as the aspect of, white people coming in and taking land from the Native Americans. So there's that whole side of the story, and I'm not getting into that right now. But Thanksgiving is not a religious holiday. It's actually, you look at it, it's a holiday of gluttony. We're celebrating gluttony. And, gluttony is not talked about enough in the church, in Christianity. I actually when I went to college, it's a Christian Bible college. All of our guys on our floor, we would go out like once every 3 months, once a quarter or whatever, go to a pizza place and try to eat as much pizza as we can. And I'm like, this is like the definition of gluttony. Should we really be doing that? Thanksgiving, I think, is the same way. It's not a Christian tradition. So if you're going to say Halloween, you're Christian, you shouldn't celebrate Halloween, I would hope you're consistent in that with all holidays, and perhaps Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, they have Christian roots. But I would hope you're consistent in all of that. Now, I'm not saying there are not pagan aspects to Halloween that perhaps we should stay away from as Christians. Not saying that at all. In the end, to me, Halloween is not like the deciding factor if you love Jesus or not. It might be an aspect of our life where we need to work on or have a little more grace. This is not the hill for me to die on, which is why I'm saying don't take anything I'm saying today as like authoritative truth, other than I'm offering my perspective to fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. I think it's okay to participate in Halloween personally. Would I celebrate every aspect of Halloween? No. I think that there's a lot of movies and themes in Halloween that are not healthy, that are geared towards evil, desensitizing us to evil. So I think it's something that we really need to be careful of. But I don't know, and again, I'm interested to hear your thoughts if you're a Christian. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, so please let me know. But if here's what I'll say. If our hearts are prone towards sin in certain ways, which they are, we will find a way to sin. So does Halloween corrupt us more than we already are corrupt? Like, does participating in Halloween make us somehow more sinful? And that's a slippery slope, not going to lie. But Halloween, we are sinful beings as it is. So participating in Halloween, I don't think makes you not, it doesn't make you not saved. I don't think you're rejecting Jesus. I don't think you're rejecting salvation if you want to take your kids trick-or-treating. I think that aspect of Halloween is a good family aspect. I grew up trick-or-treating. We actually grew up in a church where we held a fall festival, and everyone would come to the church, and we would have a bunch of games, and you could get candy, and there was costume contests. So I think there's aspects to Halloween that are valid, worthy, and family oriented, and they're healthy. But Martin Luther, and my grandma would be very proud of me because she's Lutheran. Martin Luther has some advice on how to respond if you believe Halloween is demonic and it's devil worship. He has an interesting advice on how to respond to the devil if that's really what's happening. He says the best way to drive out the devil, if he will not yield to texts of scripture, is to jeer and flout him, for he cannot bear scorn. Perhaps instead of fleeing the darkness and fear, we should view Halloween as an opportunity to mock the enemy whose power over us has been broken. I find that to be, I would not have guessed that's from Martin Luther. Let's put it that way. I find that to be a very cool quote. Don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Don't know if I agree or disagree with it. Just something I'm throwing out there to you. Perhaps instead of being scared of this holiday, why don't we try to redeem it and make it about family and God and laugh in Satan's face as we celebrate it? To those of you who are non-Christians, do you care about this at all? Probably not. Interested to hear your thoughts still, so let me know. So, Halloween. If you're a Christian, should you participate? Should you celebrate? I think it's okay. I think there's certain aspects of Halloween that we should be wise and discerning about, and maybe we should steer away from. But I think overall we make a bigger deal out of it than we need to as Christians, as the church. And if you're going to make a big deal about it, you better be consistent in your view on that with all holidays that don't have roots in Christianity. So that's kind of my thoughts today for Halloween. And this episode will be aired. This will be the 30th when it's airing. So tomorrow is Halloween. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And again, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next time.